Ramen, the unsung hero. Ramen has been a go-to meal for individuals of all walks of life for generations, from students looking for a quick and easy fix to elaborate dishes passed down through the family. But where does ramen originate from? And exactly how old is this coveted dish? Asking myself these questions has me, for one, interested in the history of one of my favorite dishes, and two, extremely hungry. So as I took a 4-hour hiatus, made one of my favorite made from scratch dishes, and had to crush the hunger before I went full investigative mode. The history of ramen is a confusing and highly debated topic, but the consensus is that ramen did not originate in Japan, but from China. Now, how the dish made the jump is highly debated. Some of the earliest attempts in the study of ramen said that this cat Shu Shan-su smuggled ramen recipe as he fled Manchu rule in China. I mean, at that time, China had some influence on Japan, but unfortunately, there's no proof that Shu fashioned this dish for anyone of importance. Honestly, Shu probably passed along the recipe, cooking it for a new friend or acquaintance. Either way, Laozu Ramen says it's been around for thousands of years, for 4,000 years, by the way, while Japanese ramen has only been around for 100 years. Let's skip to one of the most excellent versions of ramen we all know by now, instant ramen. Now, the first packaged instant ramen was introduced to store shelves in 1958 by none other than Nissan Food Corp. Did you know that the cup of noodles initially was intended for food in case of emergency? I mean, this makes sense. I'm sure I ate some noodles the other day that have been expired for an undetermined amount of time. Now, talking timelines, America wasn't introduced to instant ramen in the form of cup of noodles to about 1970. Not too long after its release, it became an instant sensation. Americans had a quick and new, easy-to-go fix for food. Fast fun fact though, typical ramen only takes about 2 hours to digest. Instant noodles, like cup of noodles, takes about an astounding 32 hours to digest. I mean, this meal won't even leave your stomach for the first 7 hours. This is due to the cup of noodles preservation chemical. It's called TBHQ. Now, hopping up to the 1980s, ramen was more than just a food item. Ramen hit a point that specialty ramen shops were pushing out OG shops like ramen carts. They were being replaced with limited menus and higher price points. Now, this started to bring in a more younger crowd, and it got to so much so that they actually crowned a new term for these consumers, the Shin Jinru, the new breed. Now, ramen has gained such renown that there are 3 museums dedicated to it. The first one is the Shin Yokohama Museum, perhaps the most popular and well-known of the 3. The Shin Yokohama Museum features a fantastic 1950s style Japanese food district, right? Japanese style food district. And cool aesthetics are not only the fantastic thing about this museum, you'll also be able to enjoy a plethora of different types of ramen. This museum is also branded as the world's first food-themed amusement park, which is awesome. The second museum is none other than the Cup of Noodles Museum. Unlike the Shin Yokohama Museum, the Cup of Noodle Museum is very interactive and will keep the family entertained no matter the age. Since the Cup of Noodle Museum is a monstrosity, it's freaking huge, monstrous 3-story building. It is no surprise why Japan wanted to show the importance of history of instant ramen. There is even a replica of the shed of which instant ramen was invented in. And before you leave, like most people before they leave, they don't notice this, but you can actually make your own custom packet of instant ramen before you leave. Now, lastly, and probably the one with the catchiest name, the Momofuku Ando, which I believe is inspired by the guy who actually invented the instant ramen. Instant Ramen Museum, like the Cup of Noodle Museum, the Momofuku Ando Museum focuses on the history of instant ramen. The Momofuku Ando Museum comes equipped with a fantastic drama theater and an astounding instant noodle tunnel with at least 800 noodle packets plastered all over the walls. Now that I'm famished again, let's talk about some super extraordinary ramen shop that is close to home. If you are a massive Dragon Ball Z fan, you already know the shop I'm talking about. Super Saiyan. The Dragon Ball Z themed ramen shop located in Florida, Super Saiyan has everything you need to quash the mad hunger before you turn into the Great Ape. The walls are decked out with Dragon Ball Z busts, Dragon Ball Z pop figures, wall art. There's no better place to get your grub on with Mr. Popo and Master Roshi, I tell you what. Now, in summary, with all the information out there about ramen, there's no doubt why ramen has become more than a food but a way of life for most people. Ramen has had such a deep and enriched history that I'm so happy to be a part of and enjoy. It's something that I've enjoyed since my Dutch Indonesian heritage. It's something that I've enjoyed over the life and the course of everything that I've had. Now, that is a presentation, guys. Much love, much appreciation. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you are just as hungry as I am, and have a great day.